Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name's Mary Kay Peters, and I'm your worship associate today. I'd like to make a special welcome to anyone who's visiting the church today. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It's a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities, and a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration for our services and our beliefs, and we share common liberal religious values. That's the one thing that we all have in common. So whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this community, whatever's on your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment. We're glad to have you with us for this special hymn sing service today. And we have a special guest, Maria Harding, is with us today on flute. And welcome. And Jay Goff is our accompanist today. And I have a couple quick announcements. We'd like to thank Terry Lynn for the beautiful flowers that she donated, and also send our condolences there from her brother's memorial service yesterday. And so our hearts go out to her. And also just wanted to say a word about our show. It's kind of a not really a concert, but a show that's 2 weeks from today, that it's kind of almost an annual thing, but it's a fundraiser for our sister church, Clare Memorial. And so it's being organized by Bill Tall, and he's got some guests also for singing and entertainment. And there's going to be a luncheon immediately following the church service that morning. I'll be the worship associate that morning also. And so the luncheon is at like 11:30 noon, and then the concert is at 1. So everybody is welcome to attend that. It's going to be really special. And I think we're raising funds to help with Claire's upgrading their heating system. So also one last thing, I would like to acknowledge that First Unitarian Church of Omaha occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Otoe, Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We would also like to express our respect to the Ponca tribe of Nebraska and the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, the Santee Sioux tribe of Nebraska, and over 170 other tribes that are represented in the Omaha area. And now, please join me for our opening hymn for this special service. It's number 346, Come Sing a Song.
Sing a song with me.
a special chalice lighting. It's hymn 362, Rise Up, O Flame. And I just want to say that all the hymns today were chosen by all of you who submitted your picks. And our opening words are by Bernadette Noll. I want to age like sea glass, smoothed by the tides, not broken. I want the currents of life to toss me around, shake me up, and leave me feeling washed clean. I want my hard edges to soften as the years pass, made not weak but supple. I want to ride the waves, go with the flow, feel the impact of the surging tides rolling in and out. And now it's time for our story for all ages, and it's The Sea Glass Treasure by Shelley Peters. And originally Sarah was going to read it for us, but she's sick today, so I'm going to do it. Come on up. Ooh, we got lots more. Come on in, everybody. Woo. Welcome, everybody. Today we're reading The Sea Glass Treasure. In 1910, on the Japanese Sea, many fishing boats set sail from shore. A loud splash is heard as they cast out their nets. But wait! Will the ropes sink to the seafloor? No, because greenish bubbles of glass, all handmade with care, attach to the nets and hold them high. They're proud, pretty globes that take joy in their task, shouting, "We have a great life we cannot deny." Through sunny days and rainy ones, and times when the wind blows strong, the greenish bubbles of glass keep the fishing nets drifting along. Then comes a day when on the water so rough, the heavy ropes and nets pull free, a single glass bubble washes far, far away and screams, "Where is my Japanese sea?" The bubble travels past both giant and small. It sees turtles, dolphins, and blue whales so tall. The bubble bounces off the hull of a large metal ship. It must duck from a school of flying fish. Playful seals fling the glass globe way high up in the sky. Then it crashes back in the water with a swish. It's frightened at times, but mostly bobs along in wonder until a crack it feels and the glass bubble goes under. It plunges, it dives, it falls deep into the ocean so blue, the greenish glass bubble yells, "Okay, this simply cannot be true. The end of my journey has at long last come? No, little bubble, your journey has just begun."
Isn't that pollution?
Upon a coral shelf, the glass bubble crashes hard, no longer smooth and round, but rather it breaks into at least 12 shards. One of the shards, so pointy and rough, is soon whisked away by a current. It bounces and bubbles along the ocean's jagged floor, past marvels like shipwrecks of merchants. The greenish glass shard beholds treasures of old and garbage from just yesterday. It becomes swirly shells that it encounters and deep ocean vents and carefree crabs that want to play with it. Anemone tentacles grab at the shark. Octopi are curious too. Algae-covered statues and fish that glow bright. To these, the shard says adieu as it floats along. On its way, the shard rambles for months and then years. Mostly it smiles, but there are also some tears. Oh, how I long for the life I once lived. In all my round glory, I had so much to give. I held nets and their catch in just the right place. In the sunlight I glimmered and the moonlight I embraced. And now, here's the shard at the bottom of the sea, far from the sunlight, far from feeling glee. Would it feel worth once more, perhaps again no inspiration? The answer is yes. But the shard's path would leave the ocean. On a gray, cloud-filled day, when the waves blow out of reach, the greenish glass shard tumbles onto a beach. To its right, it sees shells. To its left, there are rocks, all treasures from the sea, on the sand, by the docks. Soon, worries and wonder once again fill its thoughts. My journey's been amazing, yet is this where everything stops? I cannot be bitter, I will not be mad. Many friends have crossed my path, and countless adventures I have had. And then, just like that, two figures are on the horizon, strolling along the shore, laughing, their eyes are shining. It's a young girl with her grandma in tow. They both hold plastic baggies and walk along real slow. Within minutes, they are above it, the glass shard upon the sand. There is a shriek of excitement, a speedy grasp. It's in her hand. The little girl is jumping, so thrilled to show her find. Her grandma coos and at its tumbled edges and the perfectly frosted design. They're speaking of the shard, once so sharp with many cracks, but now it's been transformed into a piece of stunning sea glass. Its finder has a plan. She has dreamt of it for many a moon. The tumbled shard will become a necklace over which her loved ones can swoon. The precious piece of jewelry will adorn her for decades to come. The girl dons it in the sunshine and when she dances in the moonlight for fun. The shard now feels fulfillment and love after an odyssey of uncertainty and change. which leads it to ask, why'd I doubt and feel fear? Simply because my life plans were rearranged. 110 years saw this journey unfold, and the tale continues to be. For the greenish bubble of glass that faced heartbreak and change now shouts, I'm a treasure from the sea. And then we have a little word of wisdom from the story. I hope that all of us will realize as we go through our lives, many adventures we will know. Some will make us happy, others may make us sad. What's important is from these experiences we grow. So don't give up and don't give in to the fear life's changes may bring. For as the greenish bubble of glass that transformed into treasure, the growth can make our hearts sing. The end. You guys are welcome to stay for the service. There'll be lots of singing. And now we're going to all sing hymn. This 118, This Little Light of Mine. And now we have a contemplative musing, part 1. It's from a message kind of blog thing that I read called Interdependence Day, a New Kind of Patriotism. July 2nd marks the day that the Second Continental Congress in this country declared that the 13 colonies were no longer subjects of King George III. Congress then proceeded to revise the wording of the Declaration, removing a denunciation of the British monarch for importing the slave trade, and approved it in a compromise 2 days later on July 4th, 1776. Our founding doctrine and national mythology reads like a memorized prayer. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But not everyone in the colonies received their independence in 1776. They got around the sticky little problem of Black and Indigenous slavery and First Peoples by defining men as white Christian men, and it didn't even cross their minds that women also had rights. The spiritual notion of a land of equals, striving for the common good, was echoed 11 years later in our Constitution by phrases like, "We the people, a common defense, general welfare, more perfect union and united, anointing individuals with the power to choose their own government. In its time, it was a radical idea. Thomas Paine wrote in Common Sense, "A government of our own is our natural right. We have it in our power to begin the world over again." So let's join in hymn 159, "This Is My Song." And for contemplative musing number 2, we're going to continue Interdependence Day, a new kind of patriotism. Generations of passionately engaged citizens have waged principled battles to better align our human condition with our most cherished values. And as you use, I think we can agree that love is at the center of it all. But how we define our commonality versus individualism has always been an evolving national debate. The tug of war between the common good and individual rights is messy. Slavery to abolition, Jim Crow to civil rights, codified patriarchy to women's suffrage. Our individual freedoms are somehow dependent on each other. The recent images of smoke from the Canadian wildfires drifting thousands of miles away serve as a reminder of our interconnectivity. We cannot separate ourselves and our circumstances from the greater human condition. We live within what Buddha called Indra's net, an interconnected web that at every intersection holds a droplet of water that reflects every other droplet. But our communal fate is in many ways reliant on billions of small individual sacrifices, and sometimes we give up smaller freedoms in exchange for larger ones. For what kind of freedom exists when the air is so thick with smoke that you cannot go outside? When we embrace our interdependence, we realize that our individual freedoms and the collective good can be one and the same. And now join me in hymn 205, Amazing Grace. Every week we take up an offering in support of our liberal religious values, and 1/2 of the loose currency in the offering plate is donated to a different cause each month, one with a local presence which advances our UU principles. Our Share the Plate recipient for July is OATS, Open Arms Trans Social Group. OATS welcomes the trans community of all ages, gender identities, and gender expressions, drawing people from well beyond the Omaha area, while OATS centers the trans experience as we lift one another up in the spirit of fellowship and love. We invite our cisgender allies, family members, and partners to attend as well. And this group meets at Second Unitarian Church. And now join me in our offertory hymn, 1064, Blue Boat Home.
Oh,
Now it's time for the care and centering part of our service. And so I'm going to ask Colin to come up and go through the joys and concerns.
From Carol Ramsey, Liz Stavinsky previously was a member for many years at First Unitarian Church. She was a beloved member, and many of us saw her later at the Durham gift shop where she worked. She died on June 24th. There will be no service that will be sent out in the weekly e-blast.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add? Kaylin?
The flowers on the chancel this morning, they're from her nephew's memorial service yesterday.
Thanks, Terry Lynn, again. And I would like to wish Denise Elaine a safe trip. She's going back to visit her family in New England for her daughter's bridal shower. So safe travels, Denise, and we love you if you're listening. And now I have another reading, and this is by Kimberly Debus from the blog Hold My Chalice. Watching the tides, seeing how even one high tide is different than the next, understanding the gifts those waves bring and take away, reminds us of this truth: the only constant is change. And when you return to the same place year after year, you see how the tides have slowly changed the coastline. Sometimes a storm comes and radically shifts the shape of an inlet. Sometimes that part of the dune cliff that seemed unshakable was indeed more precarious than we thought and disappeared during a winter storm. Sometimes after a storm, there is a completely different kind of landscape than appeared before. Driftwood where there was kelp, stones where there were shells. And now we're going to sing hymn 1009, Meditation on Breathing. Our fourth reading is also by Bernadette Noll, poet. When I am thrown against the shore and caught between the rocks in a hard place, I want to rest there until I can find the strength to do what is next. Not stuck, just waiting, pondering, feeling what it feels like to pause. And when I'm ready, I will catch a wave and let it carry me along to the next place that I am supposed to be. I want to be picked up on occasion by an unsuspected soul and carried along just for the connection, just for the sake of appreciation and wonder. And with each new encounter, new possibilities of collaboration are presented and new ideas are born. Now we're going to sing hymn 396. I Know This Rose Will Open. And we're going to try, after going through it once, going into a round. So you guys are welcome to just join in wherever you'd like. And now our closing words, also by Bernadette Noll. I want to age like sea glass, so that when people see the old woman I'll become, they'll embrace all that I am. They'll marvel at my exquisite nature, hold me gently in their hands, and be awed by my well-earned patina. Neither flashy nor dull, just a perfect luster, and they'll wonder, if just for a second, what it is exactly I am made of, and how I got to this very here and now. And we'll both feel lucky to be in that perfectly right place at that profoundly right time. I want to age like sea glass. I want to enjoy the journey and let my preciousness be, not despite the impacts of life, but because of them. May we all change like sea glass. And now we'll sing closing hymn 121 together, We'll Build a Land. Thank you all for coming to our hymn sing, and hoping that everyone has a wonderful day. And now Jay and Maria will do a postlude for us. Everyone's invited downstairs for coffee hour and refreshments.